Hello, and we got your dose of crypto news for tonight/this morning. So, crypto could actually score an awesome victory from the House turmoil. How is this possible? Because no one can get 217 votes to become speaker. I know a lot of you in the crypto world want Jim Jordan, but he's actually not the best choice for crypto, and he does not seem to have the votes because there are way more than 5 holdouts in the House of Reps. To actually make Jim Jordan speaker. So I think his chances for speakership are probably dead in the water at this point. But it's very unlikely that any of the Republicans cross the aisle to support Hakeem Jeffries. So I doubt he will be speaker. Now what will happen is they need basically a temporary head of the House that has more power, that can actually act as like a functional head of the House until like the elections next time. Who might that actually be? Well, one of the names floated is Patrick McHenry. He is the current interim head of the House right now. But the current interim head of the House, the only power that he actually has is to find a permanent head of the House. Now, he doesn't really seem to want the job for speakership, but I don't really think he would actually refuse it if they actually had him as an interim speaker. Now, the thing is, like, I think most of the Republican Party would actually go for this, except for the hard right-wing group. They probably wouldn't go for it. They really want Jim Jordan. But Jim Jordan doesn't have the votes, and if it came down to it, they are going to have a compromise candidate. And I think McHenry is one they might be able to stomach. Remember, a Republican can only lose 4 votes. And I do think some of the Democrats could actually be convinced to vote for McHenry if some concessions were made by the GOP. And I think like a lot of the centrist Republicans, McHenry's not included in that group, are actually willing to compromise to actually get something actually done. So McHenry is one of the names being floated. And if that is actually true, I think he'll come down very, very hard on Gary Gensler if he is actually the new Speaker of the House. So there is a lot for crypto to profit from this. Jordan really hasn't really made his stance on crypto. I don't think he really cares about it. He's more interested in like investigating Joe Biden and like defending Donald Trump. McHenry, I don't actually think is going to be interested in like, the investigations and trying to use all resources to assist Donald Trump in his state and federal cases. I don't think McHenry is going to be interested in that at all. I think he's going to be interested in things like crypto and other legislation. So I really want him to actually become speaker. And there is a small chance that this actually happens because there are a lot of Republicans that would be okay with the interim speaker being the permanent speaker, at least for the next year or so until elections come again. And then that'll actually wash the entire cycle. So there is a good chance that he will be the one that eventually pulls away with more than 217 votes if they can get everyone to coalesce around him. Because at this point, I think Jordan's chances of being speaker are shot. There were 20 holdouts against him on the first vote, and he can only lose 4. And the thing is, like, many people have said they expect more than 20 holdouts even on the second vote because many people only committed to voting for Jordan on the first vote. So the politics is very, very interesting here, and it could really affect crypto. I think McHenry being the Speaker of the House for 1 year would actually be the worst nightmare for someone like Gary Gensler because, I think McHenry will want to question him more. It'll bring out a lot of the corruption and a lot of the bad stuff that the SEC has done. And Gary Gensler is going to have a very, very bad time. And McHenry becomes Speaker of the House because McHenry has been pro-crypto for a long time. Twitter is going to start challenge dollar for all their users. Now, this is not Twitter Blue. Twitter Blue is still like $8, $11, whatever you pay a month it is. This is going to be for the basic user, and they are doing this to combat bots. Even though $1 annual isn't very much for regular users, for bot operators that operate thousands of bots, it's going to be too expensive for them to have that many bots. I think they'll have to have more sophisticated bots to do more sophisticated scams. But remember, they lose that dollar if their account gets deleted and they do not get a refund. So the thing is, I do think it'll cut like spam by like 99%, which will be very, very nice. However, it might actually cut down the use of Twitter at all. I'm not really sure how many people it would actually cut. I know a lot of kids probably use Twitter and they probably don't have a credit card to pay that dollar. They might be able to get mom and dad to pay that dollar, but maybe sometimes mom and dad will actually say no. So it definitely could affect the Twitter usage rate, and maybe Elon will actually have to pull back from it if it actually has devastating effects on the number of users. I think other social media companies are going to stand by and actually watch to see what happens. And if it's successful, they'll probably copy the $1 model just to get rid of bots. Like YouTube obviously has really, really bad trouble with bots. I mean, I subscribe to YouTube Red, so it's not going to affect me either. But I would not actually want YouTube to lose users because of this $1 charge. Oh, $1 per year is not going to be a big deal, except to the spammers because they run too many accounts. And, I wouldn't mind it if Google started charging $1 a year for Gmail, because that would actually get rid of a lot of the spam as well. I do think a paywall is one of the best ways out of this, out of the spam bots, but I really don't know how people are actually going to react to it. So I'm going to keep a really, really big eye on it. Crypto Twitter, I'm not really sure if it'll actually be affected much, because I do think most of the crypto Twitter is actually adults. I mean, there's the bots, but we want to get rid of them anyways. I do think most of crypto Twitter is actually adults, and adults can afford to pay $1 a year for Twitter. So it actually might clean up crypto Twitter a lot. It would obviously help the bottom line at Twitter if many of their users didn't just drop out, and they could actually get $1 a month from their users. Twitter has millions of users. That could be millions of dollars a month. And that definitely can make up for some of the advertising shortfall if they don't lose too many users and even more advertising revenue. So that'll be like an interesting change. Reddit might have actually rug pulled some of their crypto investors. So they said they're actually going to sunset Reddit community points on November the 8th. And Reddit community points themselves aren't a crypto, but there's two coins based on this. There's Bricks and then there's Moon, one for each subreddit. And those coins dropped 90% when Reddit actually made this announcement. And obviously, the founders of those communities announced it to their users, and the users were very, very disappointed. I had one person in my chat that said he had 7,000 moons, and the highest they went is 63 cents. I mean, that's literally $4,200 down the drain right there, and you could sell right now, but you're not going to get too much out of it. And he said, it sucks for me, but I didn't buy any of them, so I didn't actually lose anything. I got it by, posting. Now, he also said many people actually bought hundreds of thousands of these things, and they must be really pissed off at Reddit right now. My guess is yes, he did mention that Reddit was going to IPO, and they didn't want any regulatory problems. So that's a good reason to actually sunset it. I also thought that Reddit just didn't really have a reason to keep it is the thing. I don't really see a reason why Reddit would actually keep it, in my opinion. I just think they didn't see a possibility for its expansion and much use for it. They said it was due to scaling problems for it being on Ethereum, and I can see that, but they could have also, they can just move to layer 2 as well, and I think they were actually on layer 2, so I'm not really sure if that was a real reason or if that was an excuse. It just seemed like they weren't very interested in it, and if it can get in the way of their IPO, then they definitely would want to scrap it. So Reddit's sunsetting their coins, kind of like pulling the rug out from under their users who acquired a lot of those coins, and now those coins are going to be worthless. Now the thing is, I don't know, I think they bought those coins on the open market or something. I don't think they actually bought them from Reddit, so I'm not really sure if you can go for Reddit. They probably just didn't expect Reddit to pull the plug on the entire thing. They've been testing this concept since 2020, and maybe they thought it was going to be something big, but it got annihilated. Coinbase efforts to lobby Congress seem to be hindered by Hamas at this point, because obviously Hamas was using crypto to fund themselves until April of last year. And that could actually be a reason. It's a BS reason, but it's a reason that many people in Congress could actually be targeting crypto as a way to fund terrorism. Now, Hamas did say they stopped using it early last year because crypto was actually trackable on the blockchain. A side note, fiat is much more trackable, more untrackable than crypto, but obviously they can't ban fiat, so they have to target something else. And there's anti-crypto proponents in Congress that are going to target crypto, and that's why crypto is being targeted. Like I said, complete BS, but they're going to use it, and that is hindering Coinbase lobbying efforts. On a side note, in the Israel-Hamas war, there seems to be Al Jazeera footage showing that the hospital that was actually destroyed today was actually not destroyed by Israel, but indeed Hamas was firing a rocket at Israel. The rocket broke broke in midair, did not hit its intended target, and then fell on the hospital and blew it up. Now, I'm not really sure if that footage is actually validated or not, or how true it is. But if it is, it's going to change the whole dynamic of public outcry if it's announced that Hamas actually blew up the hospital themselves. So either way, like this new Hamas terrorist war thing is actually affecting crypto because they did at once use crypto to finance it. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.